Welcome to Let's Plant Houses. I'm your host, Wendy Ernzen. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. So I have had the honor of telling 9 amazing stories so far on this podcast. And frankly, they've been packed with information. So today I decided to pull some of those great resources that they've shared and come up with a top 10 list. These are in no order, but they're all just great resources that were discussed at one point, and I thought it would be valuable to share them with you. So here we go. So the first one I wanted to talk about is the Autism Alliance of Michigan. So in episode 1, my husband Bill and I talked about this organization. For the last 10 years, they have supported our family's journey, and frankly, it's been reassuring to us to know that they are there when we need them. And they've been there for 40,000 people since inception, because I believe that's how many people they've helped in the last 15 years. So they do really great work, and their goal is to help autistic people reach their greatest potential. So this can be systems navigation, like finding help with diagnosis, therapies, handling obstacles as they come up. I think they also offer an on-demand resource directory database so you can research answers at your convenience. They also address systemic barriers to education and drive reform on special education initiatives across the state. They also offer some employment training and placement through Upbound, which is the name of their program, and it has a 90% retention rate. So all good things. The second one that I wanted to share was the Friendship Circle. So their goal is to provide every individual with special needs the support, friendship, and inclusion that they deserve. Their facility is really cool. Particularly, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Weinberg Village. I think that's what it's called. But it's a 5,000 square foot cityscape where kids with disabilities can come with their loved ones or their school to learn life skills. So there's a pet store, a doctor's office, a hair salon, a dentist office. I think there's some other storefronts too. And it's just a great place for for kids to learn. And I remember my daughter Nicola loved going there when she would go there on field trips. Friendship Circle, I believe, also offers employment training. So they have the Dakota Bakery, they have a catering company, they have the Soul Cafe. I also wanted to give a special mention about their summer camps. So they have day and overnight, and you may remember a special mention of this program in episode 7 when Lisa talked about the scholarship program she had created in honor of her daughter Shay, who had passed away. This program's so cool. Nicola, our daughter, got to spend 2 summers there at overnight camp, and not only did she get a camp experience, which was wonderful, but we as a family also got a few days of respite too, which was so good. So great place. The next organization I want to share is Living and Learning Centers. So Tom talked about this in episode 2, I think it was. And so the Living and Learning Center's mission is to make the lives of people with disabilities better. Now, I thought that they only worked with people with autism, and then having looked at their site, it actually is more expansive than I thought, which is great. They're located in Northville, so if you're on that side of town, you should check them out. They offer job training, social skills, clinical skills, social clubs, support groups, summer camps, and more. So, great place. The fourth one I wanted to mention is the Jetson Center. They are located over in Royal Oak, although I think they might have a couple of other locations, but I know that one, I think that's their first, like their original location. So they provide connections for respite, employment, and skill building for people with IDD. Specifically for autism, they also offer ABA therapy, which I know is always, it's never the easiest thing to find. They have social clubs, they have summer programming. They even have support groups and events for the entire family, including parents and siblings. And I can tell you, again, from experience, sibling programs are so needed because often the siblings are not getting the same attention as their brother or sister. So it's great for them to have that additional support. Also, if you're looking for counseling, they offer that too. The fifth resource I wanted to share was Easter Seals Mork. You may have heard a little bit about Easter Seals in episode 1. Frankly, without their swift and thorough help in putting together the behavioral and crisis management plans for our daughter, Nicola, she may not have even been placed in her new home. Just from experience, I want to share, you don't want to be in a crisis before planning for a crisis like we did. They have a whole team dedicated to helping you plan, as well as they have other services related to autism. But Easter Seals does even more than that. So Tom had talked about the Miracle League in his episode. That's a program that empowers kids with any ability to play baseball. And they actually have the only, well, I don't know if it's only, but I know the first adaptive baseball field in the state. So that means you can roll wheelchairs on there or anything else. So again, any kid with any ability can play. The Easter Seals not only helps organize that specific program, they also have other programs that help adults, children, infants, seniors, and veterans with an array of mental health, employment, and recreational support. I'm guessing they even have more things because they recently merged with MORC in the last year. MORC's a case management entity here in Michigan, so I know they're going to offer even more things. So you'll have to check out their website to learn more because I actually don't know the full detail. The next resource I want to share, this is number 6, is MRS, which it goes by, but it's the Michigan Rehabilitation Services. Jenny mentioned working with them in episode 3 when they helped her son find his job. MRS is a statewide network of professionals. It is operated, I believe, by the state of Michigan, so it's a government entity, but it functions as a network, and so it connects people with disabilities and businesses to create meaningful employment across the state. So if you're looking for a job or your loved one's looking for a job, this might be a good place to start. Also, some of the transitional programs, between 18 to 26, a lot of those coordinators are familiar with MRS as well and can get you connected. The 7th resource I wanted to share on our top 10 list is the J or JCC. So Tom talked about this in his episode. And so the JCC is also known as the Jewish Community Center of Detroit. And I know they provided his family some great support. They have a Center for Special Education, which is an umbrella of special needs services engaging 1,200 kids, teens, and adults of all abilities. They have classroom experiences, professional development, teen leadership, disability awareness conferences, social events, camp experiences, and some social groups. And the camp experiences, I can tell you, I think that was a lot what Tom talked about was the summer camp experiences for his son. And our family also has had some experience with them, and it's very high quality programming for kids. Number 8 is JARC. So you may remember hearing about that again with Lisa in episode 7. So Lisa has done some incredible volunteer work with JARC, and she's talking about like rebuilding a deck and renovating a home. So JARC provides support services to empower adults with developmental disabilities to live full and meaningful lives, and they do this through neighborhood homes and independent living programs for adults. They also have recreational and cultural experiences and respite, which is so important to a lot of parents to just get a nice break. And so if you're looking for those kinds of programs, you can reach out to JARC. Number 9 on our list is Special Olympics. And you have probably heard of Special Olympics. Most people had. It's been around for many, many years. They provide year-round sports and training and athletic competition for children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The thing that I found pretty interesting was that, having looked at it in more detail, is that they provide programming as part of their core program for 8 years and up. They have to have a junior one too that I think is ages 2 to 7. But again, this core program, 8 and up, there's no upper age gap. So this is a lifelong opportunity for people. And they offer more than 30 sports. So, I mean, we're talking baseball, bowling, skiing, bocce, floor hockey. So whether it's winter, summer, spring, or fall, there's probably a sport. So this is a really inclusive opportunity for anyone that wants to play sports. And it's not just about keeping fit, but these teams also build skills, they build friendship, they have their own communities. And again, they can play as long as they want to. So when I worked at the ARC, this was probably my favorite program that we had. So we had 10 teams and 150 athletes, and several of those teams had gone on to the Michigan State Championship for Special Olympics. So it was pretty exciting. And just the energy that would ripple through our organization when things were happening with those sports teams was incredible. Now, most of these teams across our state are managed by volunteers. They're not typically run by an organization like the ARC. But you can easily find your local team on the Special Olympics Michigan site. And they're either organized by county or by location, but it's pretty easy to figure out which area is your team. So you can just, again, check that out on Special Olympics Michigan site. And the last collection of resources are what I call community mental health providers. So this is number 10. So what does that mean? So community mental health providers provide mental health services. They're typically, or for any resident here in Michigan, and they're typically organized by county. Here in our local area, I'll just quickly tell you, so for Wayne County, it's called Detroit-Wayne Integrated Health Network. For Oakland County, it's called Oakland County Health Network. Macomb is Macomb County Community Mental Health. And for Washtenaw, it's Washtenaw County Community Mental Health. And why should you care about your CMH, so your community mental health provider? Well, it's important if you need respite or so you need a break, right? That's what respite is. It gives parents a break. If you need community living support, which is another variation of caregiving, so that's to teach your loved one how to live their lives. It's just how to do community living. So whether it be how to use the bus or how to go shopping or how to do laundry or whatever life skill they're working on, that's what community living support can do. Your CMH can also help you find housing. They can help you with case management. They can help you with therapies or locating therapies. And a lot of this also helps you find the funding to do those things. Because by going through CMH, that helps prove your eligibility for services. So we didn't reach out to our CMH until our daughter was 18. We were transitioning her to her adult life at that point. But I do know families who did this before that time to get services sooner. So personally, again, hindsight, looking back, I would get connected with your CMH sooner than later because the process can take a little while. It is a government entity. This is eligibility, so they have to schedule an interview. There's a process. So again, before you actually need services, I would probably get ahead of it and just get that get that process started. So again, that's our top 10 list. So again, I'll just run through the Autism Alliance of Michigan, Friendship Circle, the Living and Learning Center, the Jetson Center, Easter Seals Morgue, MRS, the J, JARC, Special Olympics, and of course, our community mental health providers, our CMHs. So that's the list of 10 resources I wanted to share with you today. I'd love to hear from you. So if you've worked with any of these organizations, please just share your thoughts on the Let's Plant Houses Facebook page. And I want to just say thank you so much for listening in. I hope you will consider subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing this podcast with others who may find it meaningful. So join me next time on Let's Plant Houses. Take care.